The timer starts now. 2 hours. It's ticking quietly somewhere inside your chest, not on a clock, but in your pulse. You feel it, the rhythm of urgency, the whisper that says something enormous is about to happen. You don't know why, but your heart knows this moment means something. The world feels slightly tilted, like reality is leaning toward you, waiting for your response. You open the message. The subject line burns through the screen, 2 hours left. Elon Musk ordered you to open this. It's about your life. It sounds insane. Maybe a prank. Maybe a hoax. But something inside you tells you to look closer. Something beyond reason, curiosity, fate, or that invisible connection that happens when destiny knocks. And the message reads, you have potential the world doesn't know yet. You've been asleep while your future has been calling. You have 2 hours to wake up, not in fear, but in power. Because you were meant for something bigger. Don't waste this signal. You blink. There's no link. No logo. Just those words. But they land like a hammer on your chest, because deep down, you know what it means. It's not about Elon Musk. Not really. It's about you, your untapped genius, your dormant purpose, your quiet fire. The message just used his name to wake you. To shake your routine. To make you question, what if someone actually believed I could change everything? What if I believed it too? You've lived most of your life on autopilot. Scrolling, reacting, waiting for something to happen, something outside of you. But this? This feels like the opposite. It's not the world reaching for you, it's life handing you the controls and saying, drive. You remember moments when you almost changed. When you were right on the edge of greatness. You had the idea, the spark, the plan, but fear whispered, not yet. You waited for the perfect moment, the perfect confidence, the perfect version of yourself, but what if this is the moment? What if perfection is just an excuse for delay? The truth is, you were never supposed to wait. You were supposed to start messy, imperfect, raw, real, and evolve on the way up. Every great person you admire did exactly that. Elon didn't wait until the world believed in electric cars, he believed first. He didn't ask for permission to aim rockets at Mars, he just did it, and now, in some wild symbolic way, that spirit is calling you. Imagine this, 2 hours from now, you are either still doubting yourself, or beginning the greatest transformation of your life. 2 hours can be the difference between almost and unstoppable. What's stopping you? Not resources. Not time. Not luck. It's the small voice that says, I'm not ready, but readiness is a myth. You become ready by starting, you don't find confidence before action. You build it through action, and right now, that's what this message is asking from you, not a dream, not a wish, but a decision, a decision to stop waiting for permission, a decision to stop letting fear disguise itself as logic, a decision to stop acting small in a world that needs your full magnitude, because if you don't claim your power, someone else will use it. If you don't chase your vision, you'll end up working for someone who did. And if you don't create your destiny, you'll spend your life reacting to everyone else's. The message doesn't explain why Elon Musk wants you. But maybe it doesn't need to. Maybe the real meaning is this: every time you dream big, life sends you a mirror. It shows you the bold ones, the rule breakers, the visionaries, not to make you feel small, but to remind you what's possible. When you see someone doing the impossible, that's not them showing off. That's life whispering, you can too. You're meant to lead something, build something, transform something. It doesn't matter if it's a company, a community, or just yourself. The blueprint of greatness is written in your DNA. You were born to disrupt mediocrity, and if that sounds dramatic, good. Life is dramatic. The sun rises dramatically. Stars explode dramatically. Transformation isn't polite, it's loud, fiery, and terrifying. That's what this moment is. A supernova disguised as a simple message. You feel it now, the electricity in your veins. The pull toward something unexplainable. The words begin to echo louder in your mind. It's about your life. Not anyone else's. Not your friends, not your parents, not the world's expectations. Yours, your story. Your potential. Your mission, and the countdown continues. 1 hour 47 minutes left. What will you do with it? You could close this and go back to scrolling. You could ignore the itch in your soul. You could let fear win one more time, or you could decide that this is the moment you rewrite everything. Perfect. Let's continue. Time feels different now. You glance at the clock, not because you fear it, but because it finally means something. Every second isn't just passing, it's alive, pulsing with possibility. You've been handed a mission. No instructions. No map. Just the raw command to wake up. You think about those words again, it's about your life. They don't sound like a warning anymore. They sound like a promise. Something inside you begins to unfold, slowly at first, like a sunrise breaking over an endless horizon. It's the version of you you've been hiding. The bold one. The one who dreams in lightning. The one who doesn't apologize for wanting more. The world told you to be realistic. It said, stay safe, play small, don't risk too much. But every cell in your body knows that realistic is just another word for caged. You weren't born to fit inside anyone's idea of possible. You were born to expand it. You start to see your life like a canvas that's been blank for too long. Maybe you filled it with the same colors day after day, the same routines, the same thoughts, the same fears wearing different masks. But now, there's a tremor in your hand. The brush is alive again, you remember who you used to be, before the world got loud. The child who believed they could fly. The dreamer who looked at the stars and didn't just wonder what was up there, they wondered when they'd get there. That child never left. They're still in you, waiting for you to remember. There's a quote somewhere that says, "A person dies twice, once when they take their last breath, and once when they stop dreaming." You realize you almost died that second death, the years of shrinking yourself to fit in. The years of comparing. The years of thinking success was for someone else, for the geniuses, the lucky ones, the chosen few. But here's the secret, everyone who became chosen started exactly where you are now, lost. Curious. Hungry. They were just crazy enough to start. Elon Musk wasn't born with rockets. He was born with questions. Steve Jobs wasn't born with Apple. He was born with a rebellion. Oprah wasn't born powerful. She was born with pain, and turned it into purpose. What about you? What if your story isn't behind you? What if it's waiting for you to write it? You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need the courage to begin before you feel ready, because greatness doesn't happen when conditions are perfect. It happens when you say, "I'll do it anyway." 1 hour, 23 minutes left. You can almost feel the air around you changing. Every thought that used to hold you down starts to crumble. The fears that once screamed now sound small. You start to see how much power you've given to doubt, feeding it, protecting it, defending it as if it were part of you. But doubt was never yours, it was borrowed. Learned. Taught. Conditioned. Every time someone told you to be practical, they built a little wall in your mind. Every time someone said that's not possible, they closed another door. Now you're breaking those walls down. Every belief you dismantle opens another path. Every lie you refuse to believe gives you another ounce of freedom, and in that freedom, something sacred begins to rise. Not arrogance, awareness. The awareness that you are capable of anything you decide to commit your life to. The awareness that your time here is finite, and wasting it pretending to be small is the greatest tragedy of all. You close your eyes for a moment. The world fades, and all that remains is that inner fire. You can almost hear it, a low hum, like the engine of a rocket preparing for launch. It says, "You were never meant to play safe. You were meant to burn." The fear that once froze you now fuels you. Every scar becomes proof that you've survived what others couldn't. Every mistake becomes evidence that you tried when others didn't. Every failure becomes a map, not away from your destiny, but toward it, because the universe doesn't test you to break you, it tests you to prepare you. When the pressure builds, it's not punishment, it's propulsion. Diamonds aren't made from comfort. Rockets don't lift off in silence. You start to understand why the message came now. Why the timer started. Why it said it's about your life. It's because you've waited long enough, you've survived enough, You've been prepared in secret for this moment, and now, life is asking you to stop surviving and start living. 59 minutes left. You breathe deeper now. Everything sharpens, sounds, colors, memories. The past flashes through your mind, the times you gave up, the times you almost made it, the times you whispered maybe next year. There is no next year. There is only now. Every future you dream of starts in this breath. This decision. This heartbeat. You realize something. The reason Elon Musk's name is in that message isn't random. He symbolizes relentless creation, the refusal to accept limits. That's what this message is calling out in you. It's not telling you to be him. It's telling you to be you, with the same level of obsession, fire, and commitment, because that's the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Ordinary people wait to be inspired. Extraordinary people act until they inspire themselves. You were never ordinary. You just forgot, and now, you remember. You feel a kind of awakening you can't describe. It's not hype. It's not ego. It's truth. You see the version of yourself that's been waiting, the one with courage, discipline, power. They've been standing just behind you, waiting for you to step aside and let them take the lead. You realize you've been your own gatekeeper. Every time you doubted yourself, you shut the door on your potential. But now, that door is swinging open. The light floods in. You can almost hear that inner voice again, calm, confident, unstoppable. You don't have to become someone else. You just have to stop pretending you're not already powerful. 45 minutes left. Time is still ticking, but you're not afraid of it anymore. You're in flow. You're awake. The message wasn't a threat. It was an invitation to rise, an invitation to build. An invitation to live with such intensity that time itself has to catch up to you, and now, you're ready, not someday. Not next year. Now, because there are two kinds of people in the world, those who wait for permission, and those who create momentum, and today, the world just lost another spectator. 44 minutes left. It starts as a tremor, a vibration that spreads through your veins, across your chest, into your bones. You can almost feel your soul pacing inside you, whispering, "This is it." The message wasn't a prophecy, it was a mirror. And now you finally see yourself in it, not the version that waits. Not the version that hides. The real you, the one who was always meant to rise from the background and make the world blink in disbelief. The air feels heavier now, alive with potential. You stand at the edge of your own becoming, and for the first time, you understand that life never knocks twice in the same way. When opportunity calls, it doesn't always sound like trumpets. Sometimes it sounds like silence. Sometimes like fear. Sometimes like a strange message at the edge of midnight that says, 2 hours left. You inhale. The air tastes different, sharp, electric, like ozone before a storm. The future is forming itself around you, molecule by molecule. You realize that every thought you have shapes it, every decision directs it. You're no longer waiting for a sign. You are the sign, you take your first action. It's small, maybe it's writing down your idea, sending a message, making a call, opening that old document, dusting off the dream you buried years ago. But that single motion sends a ripple across the invisible fabric of the world. Every universe that begins with motion. You are in motion now, and suddenly, you feel free. For the first time in a long time, you're not seeking validation. You're not chasing applause. You're not moving to be seen, you're moving because it's who you are. You were made to create, to build, to expand. Creation is your natural state. Doubt is the learned one. You think about that, how strange it is that humans learn to fear themselves. We learn to shrink, to play safe, to stay quiet. But the universe doesn't do that. The stars don't dim to make the night comfortable. The ocean doesn't apologize for its depth. The lightning doesn't whisper, and neither should you. You weren't born to whisper. 39 minutes left. Your heartbeat syncs with something larger now. It's not time that's ticking, it's possibility. The 2-hour countdown isn't about hours at all. It's a metaphor for urgency, for the fleeting, precious nature of existence, because when you understand that your time here is limited, you stop wasting it pretending to be ordinary. Think of this. How many people die with songs still in their lungs? Inventions in their notebooks, books unwritten, love unspoken. The graveyard is full of unfinished symphonies, lives that almost became extraordinary, but not yours, not anymore. The message came to shake the dust off your destiny. To make you uncomfortable enough to move. Because if comfort is your home, your greatness will never find you there. You understand now that fear was never the enemy. Comfort was. Comfort disguised itself as peace, but it was really paralysis. Every moment you avoided discomfort, you avoided transformation. Now, you crave it. You crave challenge the way fire craves oxygen. You crave risk the way wings crave wind. Because you finally understand, the universe rewards boldness. It always has. You look around your life and start to see patterns. Every time you were brave, life opened. Every time you hesitated, it closed. The doors were never locked, they were waiting for your courage to knock. You start to see the truth. Your entire life is a dialogue between fear and purpose. Fear whispers, stay safe. Purpose whispers, stay true. You've been listening to the wrong voice for too long. Now, you're changing the frequency. You tune out the noise of doubt. You tune into the sound of your own becoming, raw, imperfect, relentless. The noise fades. The fear fades. And what remains is clarity, not the kind that comes from knowing the future, the kind that comes from knowing yourself. 33 minutes left. You start to act faster now. Ideas flood in, energy surges. You're not tired, you're alive. The universe feels like it's responding to every breath. And maybe it is. Maybe it's been waiting for you to wake up so it could finally collaborate. Every step you take seems guided. Every thought feels like a spark. You realize that success isn't about luck or talent, it's about alignment. When you align your actions with your truth, the world bends to meet you. Opportunities that once hid from you begin to reveal themselves. People who once ignored you begin to notice. Life starts saying yes to a version of you that finally says yes to itself. That's the secret. The world reflects your belief back to you. When you act uncertain, life mirrors uncertainty. When you act certain, life rearranges itself around your conviction. You think of all the times you waited for proof before believing. Now you understand that belief is the proof. Faith isn't blind, it's creative. Every time you choose to believe, you're sculpting the future with invisible hands. 26 minutes left. The message still glows on your screen, but now it feels like it's glowing inside you. Elon Musk ordered you to open this. It's about your life. At first, it sounded absurd. But now it feels prophetic, not because of him, but because of what it awakened in you. He symbolizes something powerful: obsession. Vision, the refusal to settle. And maybe the message used his name because you needed a figure who embodies action over approval. Because that's what you're learning now, to choose action over waiting, purpose over fear, truth over comfort. You realize that you've been waiting for someone to notice your potential. But that's backward. The world doesn't notice potential, it notices proof, and proof begins when you decide to act. 21 minutes left. You begin to write, or create, or plan. The form doesn't matter. What matters is that you're no longer still. Every movement feels divine. Every breath feels like momentum. You remember how small you used to feel. But that version of you, the one who doubted, hesitated, apologized, is dissolving. In its place stands someone who finally knows, you don't need more time. You need more truth, you don't need permission. You need purpose, you don't need confidence. You need commitment, and you commit, not to perfection, but to progress. You whisper quietly to yourself, as if sealing a vow, I am no longer waiting. I am building. And in that whisper, something cosmic happens. You feel it. The entire universe seems to lean in, listening, because creation always begins with a declaration. 16 minutes left. Your surroundings fade, you are fully in your purpose now. Time no longer controls you, you control it. The 2 hours that once felt like pressure now feel like power. You finally understand the meaning. It was never about the countdown. It was about the awakening. The message wasn't a warning. It was an alarm clock for your destiny. You've woken up, and once awakened, there's no going back. You are now the author of your story, the engineer of your future, the architect of your own revolution, and the world will never forget your name.